All right. Thank you guys for tuning in to my initial thoughts review. I just saw Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom earlier tonight and wanted to go live and kind of give you guys my initial thoughts, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. Hold on one second, I need to turn my monitor off. Sorry about that, I had speakers on my monitor watching. Um, anyway, yeah, I wanted to go live and just kind of give you my initial thoughts. What I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, should you see it this weekend, kind of thing. Overall, I really liked it. It's not a perfect movie by any means. As I mentioned in my Stardust review, I definitely have some issues with it, mainly concerning the story and some of the conveniences, I guess is the best word to describe it. Some of the conveniences that the story takes in order to progress the story along. Not really a fan of that. I thought that was the weakest part. Also, the villain was a pretty weak and contrived and very much my least favorite part of the film. But it is a very enjoyable summer blockbuster popcorn kind of movie. The kind of movie that you expect here in the summertime, where you can just go in, shut your brain off, shove popcorn in your face, and be entertained for 2 hours. It is my concert addict says, do they know if it's a trilogy? They certainly leave the door open for a third film. There's a couple hints here and there, kind of throwaway one-liners off the cuff kind of thing, that lead to it being, another movie. But overall, it does kind of stand alone, and it is a decent ending should they decide not to do a trilogy. But they certainly leave the door open, and assuming it makes a boatload of money this weekend, like the first Jurassic World film did, I can certainly see it becoming a trilogy, absolutely. Um, Again, it is a fun, enjoyable popcorn movie. Just shut off your brain, shove popcorn in your face, and enjoy 2 hours of entertainment. It is probably my second favorite Jurassic Park / Jurassic World movie out there. It does not recapture the magic of the first film at all. Um, that first film is so much better. It's in a category of its own. But in terms of the sequels, Lost World Jurassic Park, Jurassic Park 3, and even the first Jurassic World, I think I enjoyed this one the most, at least after my initial viewing of it. Definitely planning on seeing it again. I'm not really sure when I'm going to have a chance now because my work schedule got changed up on me. Um, Tyler Calvert said it needed more Jeff Goldblum. Yeah, Jeff Goldblum is more or less a cameo, so if you're seeing it for Ian Malcolm, it's not really. He's not in it a whole lot. The parts that he is in it, he's fantastic, but it is more or less just a cameo, which I kind of expected it to be based on the trailers and everything. Um, yeah, it is a really enjoyable film. I highly recommend that you see it this weekend. Just don't go in there to expecting it to be a great film because it's not. Again, the story is kind of contrived. It's not really my favorite, but the dinosaur action is great. A lot of good, intense moments, and quite a few callbacks actually to the first Jurassic Park film. Just in things that are kind of hinted at or kind of similar but different from the first film, and I really enjoyed that. Again, I'm not going to dive deep into spoilers here. This is just kind of my initial thoughts review. I wanted to go live for 10, 15 minutes, whatever, hang out with you guys for a little bit, and just kind of let you know my initial gut reaction to it. Excuse me, I had popcorn in my teeth. Um, it is a good, enjoyable film. It's not gonna live up to the first Jurassic Park film at all, of course. But again, in terms of the sequels, I thought that the first Jurassic World film was kind of a return to form. Certainly not as good as the first film at all, but, kind of started to turn the ship around and recapture some of the magic. This film continues that trend, and I do think that overall this is a more enjoyable, better film than the first Jurassic World. I'm not sure how that's going to translate into the box office, because the first Jurassic World movie just surprised everybody when it came out back in 2015, I believe, in terms of how well it did at the box office, how much money it made. I'm not sure if this one can recapture that magic, the magic of the box office, but no doubt it's going to do very well. No doubt it is a pretty entertaining film. I know it's getting some mixed reviews. I saw some Stardust reactions from a few friends of mine who were a little iffy on it, and I totally get their point, because it is not as a movie, it's not necessarily all that good. You know what I'm saying? In terms of character development, in terms of the plot, or the overall story. But overall, I still had fun with it. My buddy Sean Chandler, from Sean Chandler Talks About, great YouTuber, fantastic channel, go ahead and check him out. But he refers to these kind of films as Taco Bell movies, meaning they aren't good for you. They really have no value or substance to them, but they are you still enjoy them. Kind of like a guilty pleasure kind of thing, except you don't feel guilty about it because you're enjoying it, you're having a good time. And I think that is a perfect description for this film. It is very much a Taco Bell kind of movie, a summer blockbuster, fun adventure for 2.5 hours. Again, just turn your brain off, shove popcorn in your face, and have a good time. Another negative that I may have with it is that I'm not a huge fan of the over-reliance on CGI. I would have liked to have seen a bit more practical effects in terms of the dinosaur effects. I totally understand why they did it as CG, because it is less expensive and whatever else. But I do think that part of the magic of the first film was the fact that there were quite a bit of practical effects, and CGI was just starting to come into its own back in 1993, 25 years ago, when the first Jurassic Park film came out. For the most part, the CGI looks amazing. I just would have liked to have seen a bit more on the practical side, but that's just a very minor nitpick. Super Vandy says, every T-Rex in Fallen Kingdom, well, not to really spoil that much, but there is only one, versus the Avengers, who would win? I would have to say the Avengers. Again, I'm not giving away spoilers, but, if you've seen the previous Jurassic Park films, you know that there is only one T-Rex. So I do think that the Avengers could probably take it out. But, yeah, overall, it is a very fun movie. I'm going to hang out here for the next 5 to 10 minutes if you guys have any non-spoilery questions, or just if you've already seen it tonight or in one of the advanced showings, if you want to talk about it. Again, no spoilers, please. But it is a good fun film, I thought. And again, probably my second favorite of the Jurassic franchise. I was never really a fan of The Lost World, nor was I really a fan of Jurassic Park 3. In fact, in my mind, I cannot immediately differentiate between the two. Lost World and Jurassic Park 3, in my mind, are just this big mess of a film, and I cannot separate which film is which in my mind. When I sit down and rewatch them, which I do once in a while, they aren't my favorite movies by any means, then it's like, okay, yeah, this one's the second one, this one's the third one. But if you ask me to say, okay, did this one happen in the first film, or the second film, or the third film? Yeah, I cannot tell you which movie is which. Unfortunately, that's how little of an impact they left on me. This one, it is, in my mind, the second best Jurassic movie. I definitely have some issues with the story, especially with the villain and that overall plot that really dominates the second half of the movie. I thought it could have been done better or differently, but I I still had a fun time with it. I still had a smile on my face. I was laughing when I was supposed to laugh. I was suspenseful when the movie told me to be suspenseful. Kind of on the edge of my seat when the movie dictated it. I just had a really good time. I don't think that this film is going to be for everybody. There are certainly going to be people who cannot get past some of the weaknesses of the film. But if you ignore those weaknesses, Katie Smith says we got a score yet. I have not mentioned one yet. If you saw my Stardust review, I gave it a 4 out of 5, only because Stardust does not allow for half-star ratings. I'm probably going to end up giving it a 3.5 when all is said and done. I will be doing an actual review of this film tomorrow. That should be up probably sometime tomorrow night. Super Vandy again, throwing out some ridiculous scenarios. Fallen Kingdom T-Rex versus Darth Vader, who would win? Again, a one-on-one battle. Vader can use the Force. Dude, I don't know. These kind of scenarios are ridiculous. And I'm going to be wrapping up here in a few minutes. But, no, to answer your question, Super Vandy, I would have to think Vader may have the slight advantage, but it would not be as big an advantage as all the Avengers versus the T-Rex, like your earlier question said. Yeah, I think I'm gonna come down and give it a 3.5. I may bump it up to a 4, maybe bump it down to a 3. But it was a lot of fun. Ryan O'Toole says, I couldn't disagree more, man. I was not a fan of this movie one bit. So many holes in the plot, and the villains were awful. Chris Pratt couldn't even save it for me. I totally understand where you're coming from, Ryan, and I do have quite a few of those same issues with the film, especially with the villains. The villains were not well developed, and their motivation and everything was really weak. And some of the plot holes, some of the conveniences, like I mentioned earlier, were a little contrived, and quite a few moments had me scratch my head like, yeah, no, that would not happen that way, or no, that's way too convenient for the sake of making a good movie. But I still had a fun time with it. It's not a good movie per se, but it is an enjoyable time. And sometimes you have to differentiate the quality of the movie versus the entertainment value. And from the entertainment value, I really enjoyed this film quite a bit. If I were to dive into actually critiquing this film as a movie, yeah, my score would probably be on par with Ryan. I think he gave it a 1 out of 5 in his Stardust review that I saw earlier. I don't know if I would go that low, but again, I'm not going to give it a 3.5 or a 4 if I'm critiquing it as a story on the technical merits of it, and the acting and all that kind of stuff. But from a pure entertainment value, I had fun with it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to come on here real quick and give you my initial thoughts. I do want to do more of these quick initial thoughts reviews live after I see a movie premiere on Thursday nights. So look forward to a lot more of these. They're only going to be 10, 15, maybe even 20 minutes of that. Super Vandy fist bump, high five. Good to see you, man. But, wanted to give you guys my initial thoughts out there. Again, I do plan on doing a full review for this film. It'll probably be up early to mid-afternoon tomorrow, assuming all goes well. But But I just wanted to get on here for a few minutes and let you know my initial thoughts. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful evening, and until next time, I will see you at the movies. Bye-bye.